What's up, boys? We are now on to tier 2 of this little project. Yes, welcome back to the Dream Theater Iceberg. It's finally here. Sorry it took a little bit. School sucks. Man, I've said that 3 times now. But yep, we're on to level 2. No bullcrap. Let's get right into it. Alright, first topic we have here is the Dance of Eternity time signature changes. Boy. So Dance of Eternity is probably Dream Theater's most technically complicated song. It's off of Metropolis Part 2. And it has a lot of time signature changes. I think it's the song with the most time signature changes in their catalog, with a total of... Now get this, okay? This song is 6 minutes, okay? Which is short for Dream Theater. There's 108 time signature changes in a 6-minute song, and these signatures range from 2/4 to 17/16, which for those of you who don't know how that is counted, 2/4 is like 1 2 1 2 1 2, and then 17/16, I can't even count that. That's 17/16 notes, which I'm not even going to attempt to count you, but yeah. So starting off with the technical stuff, Octavarium lyrics. So this is just kind of referring to the lyrics and their song Octavarium off of the record Octavarium. It's a 24-minute epic, great song, very deep lyrics about trying to control fate before living. What? The lyrics in the song are what my interpretation tends to be about trying to control your fate before actually living your life. So basically worrying about the future. The concepts of this whole song are actually kind of woven throughout this entire album. Like I said in the last video, the concept of this album is you're stuck in that Octavarium, that endless cycle, that sphere just going around. And that's just kind of continues through this album, starting with the Root of Evil all the way to Octavarium. There's tons of great lyrics in this song. One thing I've also learned about looking this up, well, I knew this, but I just thought that it'd be cool to talk about, so I guess I didn't learn it. But all of the songs on the album actually go up in key through the major scale, like an Octavarium. If you don't know how a scale works in music, if you start at a note, say like G, you're going to go through the different notes of that scale or that key, and you will always end back up at G. So there's so many Easter eggs on this album, it's kind of hard to talk about. I mean, just in the song Octavarium alone, there is actually a lot of Easter eggs that reference like film actors and other bands' songs and lyrics. Really cool stuff that I could just make a whole video out of if I wanted to, but I'm gonna try and make this Iceberg video a little bit shorter because editing the last one sucked and you guys have waited long enough for this, if you were waiting at all. I don't know why I'm assuming you're waiting. Charlie Dominici, I think that's how you say his word. Charlie Dominici, I think that's how you say it, is the second singer replacing Chris Collins while the band was still called Majesty. If you didn't know, before Dream Theater was called Dream Theater, they were called Majesty. They never published any albums under that name. He sang with them on When Dreamin' Day Unite. So yeah, that sucks to be that dude because that album sucked. He was fired because his stage presence really wasn't that good. He just wasn't very likable. He actually had a lot of creative differences that clashed with all the other band members, so they were like, yeah, just leave. I mean, he has his own band now though, so that's nice. He's doing well for himself. Short-haired Petrucci. Okay, so this is basically just a meme. I think it was during the time of the Train of Thought album, like 2003 era, where John Petrucci shaved his head like he just had short hair, and this is just a meme. It's literally just a meme. I don't know what else to say. It's just made fun of around Dream Theater fans, like, oh, short-haired Petrucci, his hair is short. And he had this hairstyle with all these different like little unicorn horns, and they were like, all died, and it was funny. I even think that like the band members, I think I saw it in a clip or I heard it from somewhere that they were actually gonna write a song based off of John Petrucci's short hair. Man, I love these 40-year-old men. The next one I have, can you guess what it is? The next one I have is similar, but also opposite to the one I just mentioned. I'm gonna sneeze. It's coming. It'll come back. The next one I have is long hair Rudess. Now, if you don't know Jordan Rudess, nowadays, he's actually bald. Like, actually fully bald. But, if you didn't know, he used to have hair down to here, baby. Yeah, so this is also just another meme where it's like, oh, look, he's bald now, but he used to have long hair. It's so funny. Derek God, why are all these names so dumb? Derek Sherinian. Derek Sherinian replaced Kevin Moore on keyboards. And now, I talked about Kevin Moore in the last video. He was the band's first keyboard player. So, I was right. Jordan Rudess is the third. Ha 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 ha. He performed on A Change of Seasons and Falling into Infinity. His time was a little bit shorter with the band, and then they picked up Rudess, and yeah. Replaced by Jordan Rudess due to creative issues, basically. So yeah. The second keyboardist played with them on an EP and an album, and the rest is history. Alright, the next one I have here is Majesty. And this is basically, I kind of hinted at this earlier in this video, but this is basically just the band's first name. Before they were called Dream Theater, before Mike's dad named the band, they were called Majesty. And this name was introduced by John Petrucci himself. I don't know what else you want me to say. It's literally the band's first name. James LeBrie Shrimp Incident. I know that sounds like a Call of Duty Zombies Easter egg, but just hear me out, because this is equally hilarious and tragic. Like, I'm not joking. I feel bad for laughing at this, but what I'm about to say is true. So, in 1994, James LeBrie, the singer of the band, ate some shrimp and got severe food poisoning, basically. That's why the F tier in my tier list video for Dream Theater was called Shrimp. Haha, big funny. He stated that his vomiting was so bad that he actually bled into his vocal cords and it permanently caused damage to them. So he actually lost a bit of his range for most of the career. And what he had on albums like Images and Words, it wasn't there anymore. To keep income for the band, obviously he continued to sing for them, even though doctors told him otherwise, which didn't really help the issue. So people like to comment on like James LeBrie and say, oh, he's not as good anymore. He's not a good singer to begin with.
Chungus! Big Chungus! Big Chungus!
It's so tragic. Like, just imagine you're James LeBrie for a second and you lose your range because of shrimp. Like, that is just tragic, but it's also hilarious, and I'm so sorry for laughing at it, but, like, tracing it back, it's like, if you want to know why he's lost some of his range, shrimp. So he permanently lost some of his range. This is also kind of another meme where it's like, oh, damn, that damn shrimp, man. The next one I have here is A Mind Beside Itself. So this is 3 songs with a similar theme that connect in the middle of the album Awake. I believe it's somewhere in the middle. The 3 songs consist of Erotomania. Jeez, what is with all the names today? Erotomania, Voices, and The Silent Man. 3 pretty good songs, by the way. Go check them out. But if you listen to them in order, you can kind of connect a theme. It's mostly, I believe, just from doing research, it's mostly about a psychological condition in which a person believes that someone is secretly in love with them. So pretty tragic stuff. It also deals with forgetting, just basically psychological diseases. basically. And I think there's also some dementia thrown in there. Don't quote from me. But I believe that's what they were trying to get across with this. Erotomania is about a psychological condition in which a person believes that someone is secretly in love with them. I'm not sure how people picked up on this because that song has no lyrics. Actually, is erotomania the name of the condition? I'm gonna look it up real quick. Excessive sexual desire. Oh, okay. A delusion in which a person, typically a woman, believes that another person, typically a higher social status, is in love with them. Okay, so that's how people picked up on it. That's what I thought. So the name, erotomania, speaks for itself, I guess. It's got the sexual desire in it. That, yeah, whenever listening to Dream Theater, I mean, I got that sexual desire to, like, pick up a guitar and just... And then Voices, the next song in this chain, describes schizophrenia. I mean, Voices, schizophrenia, I think you get it. One of the interesting things, though, about that song is that it has some religious undertones as well. Like, maybe the person being referred to thinks that demons or angels are speaking to them, so that's interesting to think about. And then the Silent Man basically describes the fate of relationships that come from these diseases, you know. Whoever has them or whoever loves them will kind of shut them out and keep them silent, and whoever has them will stay silent and just kind of be left alone until the day they die. So yeah, happy fun stuff for the whole family. All right, on that bright note, I've come to the last topic. See, I told you I was going to move through this one a little bit quicker than the last one. So this one is actually interesting. This is what could take up most of the runtime of the video. The 12-step suite. Now this is something I'm actually really excited to talk about because I didn't know about it until recently. I went through and listened to the whole 12-step suite. So this is also another thing that is pretty well known. If you're just like a casual listener to Dream Theater, you probably won't know what the 12-step suite is. But even if you're a casual listener, let's say you listen to songs between albums, you might start to notice that some of the songs sound similar to others, or they have connections to others, certain like Easter eggs, you know, a certain rhythm, a certain drum beat, or guitar riff might pop up again. And that is basically the 12-step suite. You just didn't know that you were experiencing it. The 12-step suite is a set of 5 songs from 5 different Dream Theater albums coming together to make a 57-minute epic. And I do mean epic. This is something that is awesome. I don't think I've ever seen, or I guess heard, a band do something like this, at least not to this extent. To kind of have these songs spread out between different albums and then they like tell a story as they go through. And you can find the 12-step suite, by the way. Just search Dream Theater 12-step suite on YouTube and you can listen to it all edited together. It's really cool. I listened to it on a 6-mile run, and let me just tell you, it was an adventure, dude. Okay, so the songs in order of the 12-step suite, the songs in order. The albums are not necessarily in order, so keep this in mind. Or are they in order? Actually, they might be. I'm too lazy to check. Okay, but the songs in order to listen to for the 12-step suite is The Glass Prison off of 6 Degrees of Inner Turbulence, This Dying Soul off Train of Thought, The Root of All Evil off of Octavarium, Repentance off of Systematic Chaos, and The Shattered Fortress off of Black Clouds and Silver Linings, Mike Portnoy's last album with Dream Theater. And that's kind of a cool segue into my next topic, because Mike has a big involvement in this. You might be asking, well, what the hell is the story of this 57-minute collage of songs? Well, this idea was actually conceived by the band's drummer, Mike Portnoy, who was an alcoholic. Emphasis on the was. He's been sober for a good while now. But it details his journey of basically being an alcoholic and then getting help, pretty much. But it's not like specifically like, oh, Mike went to rehab, the guitar riff to signify it. No, it's not like that. It can really be applied to any person or any struggle you really have. I mean, it is definitely more alcohol based. I mean, glass prison bottles, I think. I'm really not sure. That's just my interpretation of it. But it really just deals with how much a person can lose themselves in certain addictions. Of course, talking about alcohol, one can lose themselves in very horrifying ways, and Mike knew a lot about that because he was an alcoholic, and he just decided, hey, I'm gonna write the lyrics for these songs. And then the band members were like, okay, fine. So I don't really know how the process went with the whole collab, because it wasn't just Mike who contributed to this. I mean, he's the drummer. Like I said, there's like repeating rhythms, melodies, guitar riffs throughout all of these songs that you'll pick up on. In fact, I'll play a few here just to hammer home the thought. Maybe it'll be a little bit easier to understand what I'm saying if you just listen to it. So I'll play a little bit of that stuff here. So yeah, basically connecting themes lyrically and musically, ending up at that shattered fortress of just tearing down all those walls and basically fixing yourself. Really inspiring stuff, actually. And that's kind of like sad a little bit too, because it's Mike's send off to the band. I mean, he left after the Shattered Fortress, after Black Clouds and Silver Linings, which is where the Shattered Fortress is on, which is the last song in the 12-step suite. So he basically left after ending that story, which is really interesting. But yeah, so I really like this because I just really haven't seen any other band do it to this extent, telling a story through different songs and different albums. That might seem like a little bit pretentious, like, oh, I gotta go listen to all these different albums to find this song. I gotta find the freaking Pokemon. Gotta find all the little Easter eggs and all that. But like I said, you can just go on YouTube and listen to it. So stop grumbling, man. Another thing too that I have noted here is that this has actually been played live, like in full. The whole 12-step suite has been played live by Mike and Dream Theater, I believe. I believe he actually played it with Haken, another prog metal group. Yeah, 12-step suite, absolutely awesome. Just a brilliant idea from a brilliant band. Okay, and with that, I'm gonna end this here because that's all I have for the second level. I'll try to get not tier 3, sorry. I just made a tier list video before this, man. I'm trying to pump out stuff so I can edit it. I'm gonna try and get level 3 out a little bit quicker than this one. I'm sorry that this one took so long. Like I said, life just life works in mysterious ways, man. You can't predict it. So yeah, I don't know how to do outros. Gang, you guys stay awesome, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay? Bye.
Thank you.